Hey, welcome to another photographic moment, and we're just now into autumn and prime season for nature and landscape photography, especially here in Ohio. Right now we're at about peak color time, but even after peak color time, it's still some great opportunities, especially the sunrises and sunsets as you get into November. I've found to be the most beautiful in this area. One of the key pieces of gear that I have that I constantly use for just about, I'd say about 90% of the nature photography I work with and most of the commercial work is a tripod. And oftentimes with people, especially I notice this with people that are just getting started with DSLR cameras, and they come to my beginner level workshops that I do. They get the camera and the lens that come together, and then they start thinking about, okay, what's my next lens I want to get, and they kind of bypass what I think is the most important piece of gear next to the actual camera itself, and that's a tripod. A good, solid, professional quality tripod and ball head are absolutely essential to capturing the nature landscape photographs that you really would like to. The reason being is because once you set that camera on that tripod, you open up all those slow shutter speeds, and that opens up so much more area for you to be creative in your photography and working with different apertures. And also, by going to the slower shutter speeds, you maintain a really top quality digital file, whether you're shooting RAW or JPEG. When you don't have that tripod, you're going handheld and you're having to bump up that film speed all the way up to 800, 1000, 1200, you start to introduce some more digital noise, which can be a problem, especially when you have skies and clouds involved in your scenes. The tripods that I have that I found to be extremely valuable in my my toolbox of photographic gear, and I've got this Geodos, which is a carbon fiber tripod, and I also have this older one that's about 7 years old. It's a Bogan, and Bogan is also known as Manfrotto. These are your professional grade tripods. Gitzo is another one. It's worth going to one of the camera retailers that specialize in professional photo gear. The ones that I've gone to and bought gear from, had really good experiences with, is B&H out of New York, Midwest Photo Exchange in Columbus, and Calumet over in Illinois. All very reputable, have a wide selection of professional grade tripods. The key thing is to look for in a tripod is have one that extends when the legs are fully extended to be at least at your eye level when you're standing, so you're not having to bend down a little bit to get your eye up back behind that camera. After a while, that's just going to kill your back, and you know, the things that we do, that anything that we can do to make it a little bit easier on our bodies when we're out photographing will make it so much more when I would say a better experience, and you'll be a lot better opportunity getting the images that you really want to. The carbon fiber tripod, which is this Geodos, is very lightweight. It has 3 leg extensions that are twist type. The lightweight is great. The one thing that I don't like is having these 3 twists. It takes a little bit of time to get those legs out, and when you're chasing moving light, which is often the case in sunrises and sunsets that I love to photograph, that can get a little bit, when I would say, nerve-wracking, because you want to get set up for the shot and not waste your time trying to get all your gear together. But it's a very good tripod. The ball head is essential. The professional grade tripods don't come with a head. There's a reason for that, because most professional photographers prefer to buy the head separately. The head that I have, that I've used for over 10 years now, and this one, that's how old it is, it's just as good as today as it was 10 years ago, is Kirk, and Kirk Enterprises out of Indiana. There's another brand called Really Right Stuff. There might be a couple other ones out there, but I've just had phenomenal positive experiences with Kirk. This is a ball head. It's still maintains just as tight controls as it was when it was brand new. I use the L brackets, slide in for horizontal, take the camera out, slide it back in for vertical. Works great. it's a heavier ball head, which is nice because the more stable your platform, the better quality exposure you're going to be able to obtain. So it's worth a little bit of weight, and also keeping that ball head as close to that top of that tripod when the legs are extended, this top part, keeping your camera as close to that as possible increases the stability of your platform, and that's a key factor in gaining good quality exposures. The other older tripod I have is the Bogan 3021. It comes out a little bit quicker because it's got just 2 clips that extend the legs. The problem is these clips, they tend to get loose, so I have to keep a hex wrench with me to tighten these up every once in a while, because there's nothing more annoying when you're set up and you're doing a long time exposure and all of a sudden one of your legs is just slowly creeping like this, and that's because these clips tend to get a little bit loose right in here, so they have to be tightened once in a while. Good all-around tripod. Another thing that I use is a monopod. The only time I use a monopod is with a big lens, like a 500mm, with this Kirk King Cobra head, which offers me a lot of range of movement with that big lens. What I like about this monopod, it has the mini legs that extend out, and I wouldn't let it stand by itself for too long of a period of time, but it just, for a monopod, it increases the stability just a little bit more, which is nice. So, nature, landscape photography, and autumn, you want to have a good quality tripod. I like to put a lot of interesting foreground elements, such as moving water from waterfalls and streams in my landscape photographs, especially in spring and fall. And I get that wonderful cotton candy effect of the flowing water when I do the longer time exposure. That's an excellent example of what I mean by using a longer time exposure, opening up all that other creative, what I call the creative zone for your nature and landscape photography. So have a great fall, and at the end of this video I'm going to post some of my recent shots that I've done here in Ohio this autumn. It's been a really good one. And also I want to mention I've got a workshop coming up in Cox Arboretum November 6th, Saturday, morning session for beginners, afternoon session for more advanced on HDR and marketing your nature photography. The morning session is just about full, still a number of openings for the afternoon session. Email me, jim@ohiophoto.org. Get signed up. Each session is $45. Do both, it's $80. Also, I've set my date for a winter nature program, nature photography workshop out in Hocking Hills for January 28th to 30th, the last weekend of January at the Inn at Cedar Falls. I'm still working out the details, such as pricing on that program, but if you're interested, please email me about that as well, jim@ohiophoto.org. So that's it for this photographic moment. Hope everybody has a great autumn, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.